Good morning, dear Vice Dean Special Affairs Assistant Professor Chawalit Khaokhiew, Dean of the Faculty of Archaeology, Silpakorn University, Assistant Professor Dr. Damrongpon Inchan, Vice Dean of Art and Cultural, Special Affairs Associate Professor Dr. Rungroj Thamrungreang, our invited speakers and distinguished guests.
สวัสดีค่ะเรียนรองอธิการบดีฝ่ายกิจการพิเศษผู้ช่วยศาสตราจารย์ชวลิตขาวเขียวคณบดีคณะโบราณคดีผู้ช่วยศาสตราจารย์ดรดำรงพลอินจันทร์รองคณบดีฝ่ายวิจัยและกิจการพิเศษรองศาสตราจารย์ดรรุ่งโรจน์ธรรมรุ่งเรืองวิทยากรและแขกผู้มีเกียรติทุกท่าน
Today, it is my pleasure to be an English MC for the International Symposium titled Art and Culture in Asia. My name is Chanokchon Sisunhorn, undergraduate student from the Faculty of Archaeology, Silpakorn University.
วันนี้ดิฉันรู้สึกเป็นเกียรติที่ได้ทำหน้าที่เป็นพิธีกรภาคภาษาไทยในงานเสวนานานาชาติเรื่อง Art and Culture in Asia ดิฉันนางสาวณัชพรศรีสุวรรณนักศึกษาระดับปริญญาตรีคณะโบราณคดีมหาวิทยาลัยศิลปากร
On behalf of the organizer of the Faculty of Archaeology, Silpakorn University, in partnership with School of Foreign Languages and Research Center of Eastern Literatures of Peking University, we wish to extend our warm welcome and thank you all to participate to this international symposium.
ในนามของผู้จัดงานคณะโบราณคดีมหาวิทยาลัยศิลปากรร่วมกับ School of Foreign Languages และ Center of Study of Eastern Literature แห่งมหาวิทยาลัยปักกิ่งขอบพระคุณและขอต้อนรับผู้เข้าร่วมเสวนาทุกท่านเข้าสู่งานเสวนานานาชาติในครั้งนี้
To begin the opening ceremony with the blessing, I would like to invite the Dean of the Faculty of Archaeology, Silpakorn University, Assistant Professor Dr. Damrongpon Inchan, to give his welcome speech.
เพื่อเป็นการเริ่มเข้าสู่พิธีการเปิดเสวนาดิฉันขอเชิญคณบดีคณะโบราณคดีมหาวิทยาลัยศิลปากรผู้ช่วยศาสตราจารย์ดรดำรงพลอินจันทร์กล่าวต้อนรับผู้เข้าร่วมเสวนาในครั้งนี้ค่ะ
Vice President for the Special Affairs of Silpakorn University, Assistant Professor Chawalit Khaokhiew, Dean of School of Foreign Language and Directors of the Centers for Study of Eastern Literatures, Professor Dr. Ming Chen, all participants, speakers, and ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to extend a warm welcome to all attendees of the seminar, International Symposium Art and Culture in Asia, scheduled to take place on the 5th and 6th of August 2023. This symposium is the one part of celebrating of the Faculty of Archaeology in 68 years since we established in 1955. And archaeologists aim to advance the knowledge about the ancient art and cultures, shedding light of the lives of our ancestors. Moreover, our students and scholars want to encompass contemporary art and culture, providing insights into the modern way of life. This knowledge not only helps us understand our past, but also equips us to face the challenge of the future. With diverse topics spanning ancient arts and culture, modern art and cultures, museum, gallery, and cultural heritage management. This symposium promises to be an intellectually enriched experience. We are immensely grateful for the collaboration extended by the School of Foreign Language and Center for Study of Eastern Literature at Peking University, China, which form a part of our MOU activity. We are honored to host esteemed speakers from boards of faculty members of Archaeology, Silpakorn University, and the Fine Art departments alongside foreign scholars representing various institutions and organizations from Southeast Asia and from China and from Japan. Then I extend my heartfelt thanks to all stakeholders and partnerships who have contributed to creating of this platform for exchanging ideas about art and culture in East Asia between Thai and foreign participants, which will undoubtedly contribute to academic prosperity in the future. Furthermore, this year, the university also is celebrated on the 80th anniversary. And in the same year, we have the special significance as it marks the 100th year anniversary of the birth of Prince Subhadradis Diskul, a foundational figures in the Faculty of Archaeology, teaching and learning endeavors. In commemoration, Silpakorn University will be the host an academic forum at the end of this year, should be in November, to honor his legacy. And also in the 2 years, we will celebrate for the 70 year of the Faculty of Archaeology. We will inform you in the advance. As the ones of the organizers of the arts and culture in Asia, this seminar and symposium, I extend warm welcome all distinguished guests, scholars, and all participants. I sincerely hope that the lectures delivered by the expert over these 2 days will be highly beneficial to all participants engaged in this discussion. And I hope all participants from foreign countries will enjoy and have the meaningful trips in Thailand. Thank you. ขอบคุณครับ
Thank you, Assistant Professor Dr. Damrongpon Inchan.
ขอบคุณผู้ช่วยศาสตราจารย์ดรดำรงพลอินจันทร์ค่ะ
Next, the Dean of School of Foreign Languages, Peking University, and Director of Research Center of Eastern Literature, Professor Dr. Ming Chen, will deliver his welcome speech through the video clip.
ในลำดับถัดไปขอเชิญทุกท่านรับชมวิดีทัศน์คณะบดี School of Foreign Language และผู้ช่วยศาสตราจารย์และผู้อำนวยการ Research Center of Eastern Literature แห่งปักกิ่ง University ศาสตราจารย์ดรหมิงเฉินกล่าวต้อนรับผู้เข้าร่วมเสวนาค่ะ
Distinguished Vice President, Dean and Vice Dean of Faculty of Archaeology, respected scholars and honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to all in attendance. It is with utmost honor that I address this academic symposium on art and culture in Asia. I am deeply privileged to have this opportunity to speak at such an esteemed event. In late July 2019, our team of scholars from School of Foreign Languages and Research Center of Eastern Literature had the privilege of visiting Silpakorn University, engaging in scholarly discussions and fruitful exchanges with the scholars from Faculty of Archaeology. Now, after a gap of 4 years in overcoming the shadows cast by the pandemic, we have once again converged, rekindling our intellectual connections, and it fills me with great joy. First and foremost, on behalf of School of Foreign Languages and Research Center of Eastern Literature, I extend my sincere greetings to Faculty of Archaeology of Silpakorn University and all the scholars, experts, and distinguished guests participating in this illustrious symposium. Asia, as the birthplace of 3 major ancient civilizations, has witnessed the dazzling display of diverse cultures over its rich and extensive history spanning over 6,000 years. From the legendary Hanging Gardens of Babylon to the majestic terracotta army in Xi'an, from the grand Damrongpon stupa in Taxila to the awe-inspiring Borobudur in Indonesia, from the bustling Grand Bazaar in Istanbul to the magnificent Regent 10 Square in Samarkand, from the remarkable Bamyan Buddha to the captivating smiles of Angkor, from the ancient Nakhon Pathom city to the historical temples of Nara, each cultural heritage is a repository of unique significance, manifesting boundless vitality, and representing invaluable treasures of human civilization. Simultaneously, each culture is a testament to the fluidity and openness that comes from exchange, enriching and diversifying through mutual inspiration. The history of Asian arts evolution serves as a testament to the multicultural coexistence and the continuing legacy of diversity. Thailand, historically serving as a bridge between the East and the West, has been a focal point for the convergence and exchange of goods from the Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. Sailors from Sri Lanka, India, Arabia, Persia, and China gathered here to foster connections and facilitate exchanges. As early as before the Common Era, Indian merchant ships were frequent visitors, traversing between the Indian subcontinent and this land known as the Land of Gold, Subhadradis. Chinese ancient texts, starting with the Book of Han, frequently mention the ancient states within the Thai territory and the official exchanges between them and China. The carnelian lion-shaped ornaments unearthed at the Dong Tafet site, the bronze drums from the Khaokhiew site, the Dharmakakra from Yufan, the Parvati stone and glass beads, the Phantom Rung stone castle in Buriram, the Senkalop ceramics of Sukhothai, the Phantom Chong temple in Ayutthaya, the Temple of Seven Spires in Chiang Mai, and the Kingarai Palace in Lopburi are all compelling evidence of Thailand's vibrant history of frequent exchanges, assimilation, coexistence, and prosperity with various Asian cultures. The abundant and diverse artistic and cultural heritage of Asia provides a valuable window for exploring the profound journey of human civilization. Generation after generation of experts and scholars have made significant contributions to unraveling the secrets of these civilizations. This year marks the 100th anniversary of the birth of Professor Wang Subhadradis Diskul, one of the founders of the Faculty of Archaeology and an eminent figure in the field of art history. On this momentous occasion, distinguished scholars from various Asian countries, including Thailand, China, Cambodia, Indonesia, and Japan, have assembled at Silpakorn University to discuss the allure, achievements, and global impact of Asian art and culture. This gathering holds profound significance. The School of Foreign Languages and the Research Center of Eastern Literature take immense pleasure in co-hosting and participating in this international symposium. From 2016 until now, the School of Foreign Languages and the Faculty of Archaeology have carried out multiple forms of cooperation and exchanges. In the research project of a collection and study of the illustrated manuscripts of Eastern literature and historical documents starting in 2016, scholars from the two sites have been cooperating closely in undertaking tasks related to Thailand. In May 2018, a delegation from the Department of Art History visited the Department of Southeast Asian Studies at Peking University for a series of academic exchanges. From June to July 2019, a group of graduate students from the School of Foreign Languages attended the Thai Art and Culture Summer Course at Silpakorn University organized by the Archaeology faculty. At the end of July 2019, we successfully co-organized a seminar on Eastern literature, art, and culture along the One Belt, One Road region at the Sairindern Anthropology Center in Bangkok. In May, we officially renewed our cooperation memorandum. The School of Foreign Languages is looking forward to joining a longer journey with the Faculty of Archaeology in order to create more platforms for dialogue and the sharing of insights among Asian scholars. Throughout ancient and modern times, whether in official or informal contexts, interactions and exchanges between Asian countries have been frequent and enduring. The cultures of diverse Asian ethnic groups have become intertwined, defying separation. I believe that through this symposium, we will uncover further the inclusive, interconnected, and dialogical aspects of Asia's spiritual and intellectual heritage, thereby charting the course toward a more expansive future of collaboration. Lastly, I express my heartfelt gratitude to the organizers of this symposium, the Faculty of Archaeology of Silpakorn University. May this symposium achieve resounding success. Thank you all.
Thank you, Professor Dr. Ming Chen. Next, I would like to invite the delegate of School of Foreign Languages, Peking University, and Research of Eastern Literature, Assistant Professor Dr. Rungroj, and the Dean of Faculty of Archaeology, Silpakorn University, Assistant Professor Dr. Damrongpon Inchan, to exchange a token of appreciation as a symbol of this meaningful collaboration.
ขอบคุณผู้ช่วยศาสตราจารย์ดร.ดำรงพลอินจันทร์ค่ะในลำดับถัดไปขอเชิญทุกท่านขออภัยค่ะในลำดับถัดไปดิฉันขอเชิญผู้แทนจาก School of Foreign Language Peking University และผู้อำนวยการ Research Center of Eastern Literature ผู้ช่วยศาสตราจารย์ดร.รันสงและคณะบดีคณะโบราณคดีมหาวิทยาลัยศิลปากรผู้ช่วยศาสตราจารย์ดร.ดำรงพลอินจันทร์มอบของที่ระลึกให้แก่กันสำหรับความร่วมมือในการจัดงานครั้งนี้ค่ะ
you.
ขอบคุณค่ะ
May I invite Vice Dean Special Affairs of Silpakorn University, Assistant Professor Chawalit Khaokhiew to give his opening speech.
ลำดับถัดไปขอเชิญรองอธิการบดีฝ่ายกิจการพิเศษแห่งมหาวิทยาลัยศิลปากรผู้ช่วยศาสตราจารย์ชาวลิตขาวเขียวกล่าวเปิดงานค่ะ
สวัสดีตอนเช้าๆนะครับ Good morning. I think it's early morning in the weekend. I hope that the participant is more นะครับ The Dean of School of Foreign Languages and Director of the Center for Studies of Eastern Literatures, Professor Dr. Ming Chen. I'm so thank you about his speech on clip video, and the representative of the Dean of School of Foreign Languages, Ajahn Rang Song, and the Dean of Faculty of Archaeology, Silpakorn University, Assistant Professor Dr. Damrongpon Inchan, and invited speaker and all participants. I am honored to represent the President of deliver the two opening speech at the International Forum Art and Culture in Asia, and on behalf of Silpakorn University, I so warmly welcome all of you to participate in this forum. The first and foremost, I would like to commend the Dean of Faculty of Archaeology, Silpakorn University, as well as the Dean of the School of Foreign Languages and the Director of the Center for Study of Eastern Literature at Peking University for the good organizing this international forum. I heard that the topic covered in this event, including archaeology, art history, inscription studies, cultural management, and the role of museums and galleries, are truly captivating. Moreover, the diverse of the speaker representing the more especially Faculty of Archaeology and Fine Art Department, educational institutes, and foreign organizations add valuable perspective to the discussions. This forum provides an excellent platform for academics and participants alike to exchange ideas on various issues in art and culture, ultimately contributing to the advancement of academic knowledge in this field. I think from Professor Ming Chen said that I think it's very important to make the MOU with Peking University. I hope that in the future, the Faculty of Archaeology and Silpakorn University maybe have expand MOU to the Cambodia and to Indonesia for exchange student or exchange researcher in the future, I hope. In the conclusion, I extend my best wish for the successful of this event. The Dean said that this year is a 68th year anniversary for the Silpakorn University. I think that the church by church is a 80th year anniversary. I think the university that the university in this year for the celebrate for 80th year, we have a lot of event and seminar. This event is one part of the 80th year anniversary of Silpakorn University too. I am confident that it will meet its objective and goals, furthering our understanding of art and culture in Asia. Without further ado, I am delighted to officially open international forum, and I would like to thank the dean, the two deans, and Ajahn Rungroj, Thamrungreang, Ajahn Ling, Achirat, for work hard to organize this forum. And I hope all of you have a good knowledge and sharing the knowledge from this forum, art and culture, and in Asia. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Assistant Professor Chawalit Khaokhiew.
ขอบคุณผู้ช่วยศาสตราจารย์ชาวลิตขาวเขียวค่ะ
Next, I would like to invite Vice Dean Special Affairs Assistant Professor Chawalit Khaokhiew to give souvenirs for this collaboration to Dr. Sham Guntia.
ลำดับถัดไปขอเชิญรองอธิการบดีฝ่ายกิจการพิเศษผู้ช่วยศาสตราจารย์ชาวลิตขาวเขียวมอบที่ระลึกสำหรับความร่วมมือในการจัดงานครั้งนี้ให้แก่วิทยากรภายนอกดร.ชามกุนเทีย
Next, คุณอายุมิฮาราดะ
คุณอายุมิฮาราดะ
Next, Assistant Professor Dr. Ran Song.
คุณซุนเจอหลี
คุณสุนจรีค่ะ Sorry. Next, Assistant Professor Dr. Ran Song.
ผู้ช่วยศาสตราจารย์ดร.รันสง
Next, Dr. Agung Ujattika.
ดร.อากุงหูจัตนิกา
and คุณพัชรพรเงินเกิดค่ะ
และคุณพัชรพรเงินเกิดค่ะ
He's not coming today, sorry.
ขออภัยค่ะ
The next program, may I invite Vice Dean Special Affairs Assistant Professor Chawalit Khaokhiew, Dean of Faculty of Archaeology, Silpakorn University, Assistant Professor Dr. Damrongpon Inchan, Vice Dean of Art and Cultural, Silpakorn University, Special Affairs Associate Professor Dr. Rungroj Thamrungreang, and our invited speakers to come up on stage for group photo taking part, please.
ในลำดับถัดไปดิฉันขอเชิญอธิการบดีฝ่ายกิจการพิเศษผู้ช่วยศาสตราจารย์ชวลิตขาวเขียวคณะบดีคณะโบราณคดีผู้ช่วยศาสตราจารย์ดร.ดำรงพลอินจันทร์รองคณะบดีฝ่ายวิชาการและกิจการพิเศษรองศาสตราจารย์ดร.รุ่งโรจน์ธรรมรุ่งเรืองและวิทยากรทุกท่านถ่ายรูปร่วมกันบนเวทีค่ะ
This is the end of the opening ceremony. I am thankful to all guests and participants to this ceremony.
ณ ตอนนี้ในส่วนพิธีเปิดงานเสวนานานาชาติสิ้นสุดลงแล้วขอขอบคุณแขกผู้มีเกียรติทุกท่านค่ะ
Dear distinguished guests, for your information, in these 2 days, we have about more than 100 participants joining this symposium. The topic from Thai and overseas scholars in these 2 days are under these 4 overarching themes. First, art and culture in Asia before the 14th century AD. Second, art and culture in Asia since the 14th century AD onwards. Third, museum and gallery. And fourth, cultural heritage management.
เรียนแขกผู้มีเกียรติทุกท่านในงานเสวนาที่จะจัดตลอด2วันนี้เรามีผู้เข้าร่วมงานเสวนา มากกว่า100ท่านซึ่งหัวข้อของวิทยากรทั้งชาวไทยและชาวต่างประเทศในช่วง2วันนี้สามารถแบ่งได้เป็น4ประเด็นได้แก่ 1. ศิลปะและวัฒนธรรมในเอเชียก่อนคริสตศตวรรษที่14 2. ศิลปะและวัฒนธรรมตั้งแต่คริสตศตวรรษที่14เป็นต้นมา 3. พิพิธภัณฑ์และแกลเลอรี่ 4. การจัดการวัฒนธรรม
We sincerely hope to be able to conclude contributions in these 2 days of the symposium sessions to academia and also for society.
เราหวังเป็นอย่างยิ่งว่างานเสวนาตลอด 2 วันนี้จะมีประโยชน์ต่อวงวิชาการและสาธารณชนค่ะ
Before we start the first session, may I invite you all to listen to a special lecture on the topic 100 stories through 100 artifacts for the commemoration of the 100th birthday anniversary of Professor Mom Chao Subhadradis Diskul by all 3 speakers. Associate Professor Dr. Chen Tingsanchali, Associate Professor Dr. Rungroj Thamrungreang, and Assistant Professor Dr. Achirat Chaiyapotpanit.
ก่อนที่จะเริ่มการบรรยายตามประเด็นหลักข้างต้นดิฉันขอเชิญทุกท่านฟังบรรยายหัวข้อพิเศษเรื่อง100วัตถุสถาน100เรื่องราว100ปีประสูติการศาสตราจารย์หม่อมเจ้าสุภัทรดิษฐ์ดิสกุลโดยวิทยากรทั้ง3ท่านได้แก่ศาสตราจารย์ดร.เชษฐ์ ติงสัญชลีรองศาสตราจารย์ดร.รุ่งโรจน์ ธรรมรุ่งเรืองและผู้ช่วยศาสตราจารย์ดร.อาชิรัตน์ ชัยพจน์พานิชค่ะ
They are professors at the Department of Art History, Faculty of Archaeology, Silpakorn University, and they are one of the authors of the book 100 Stories Through 100 Artifacts for the Commemoration of 100th Birthday Anniversary of Professor Mom Chao Subhadradis Diskul, which had organized to commemorate the occasion of the 100th anniversary of Professor Mom Chao Subhadradis Diskul's birth. Today, all 3 speakers will tell some stories from the book.
ศาสตราจารย์ดร.เชษฐ์ ติงสัญชลีรองศาสตราจารย์ดร.รุ่งโรจน์ ธรรมรุ่งเรืองและผู้ช่วยศาสตราจารย์ดร.อาชิรัตน์ ชัยพจน์พานิชเป็นอาจารย์ประจำอยู่ภาควิชาประวัติศาสตร์ศิลปะคณะโบราณคดีมหาวิทยาลัยศิลปากรและเป็นหนึ่งในผู้เขียนหนังสือเรื่อง100วัตถุสถาน100ปีขออภัยค่ะ100วัตถุสถาน100เรื่องราว100ปีประสูติการศาสตราจารย์หม่อมเจ้าสุภัทรดิษฐ์ดิสกุลซึ่งจัดทำขึ้นเพื่อระลึกถึงในโอกาสครบรอบ100ปีประสูติการศาสตราจารย์หม่อมเจ้าสุภัทรดิษฐ์ดิสกุลวันนี้วิทยากรทั้ง3ท่านจะมาบอกเล่าเรื่องราวบางส่วนจากหนังสือเล่มดังกล่าวค่ะ
ค่ะ3ภาษานะคะขอบคุณค่ะสวัสดีค่ะ Good morning เจ้าอันนี่มันหาวนะคะ First of all thank you our lovely MC from BA students it's their first time that they do it very well first of all I would like to tell a little bit about this book. Actually, Ajahn Lungroj will tell us in details. Actually, we have a lot of writers for this book, but because we have just a short time, so today we 3 here just a representative, just part of the writers. So the orders of the presentation will start with Associate Professor Dr. Rungroj, and then next to Professor Dr. Chen Tingsanchali, and the final one is me. Okay, please.
Good morning, everyone. Today we would like to talk about the commemoration project to Professor Mom Chao Subhadradis Diskul, our great teacher, Than Ajahn. The project name is 100 Stories, 100 Artifacts for the commemoration of 100th birthday anniversary of Professor Mom Chao Subhadradis Diskul. This project will be completed next year. First of all, I have to talk his contribution to the Faculty of Archaeology, Silpakorn University, and academic circles. He was the former Dean of Faculty of Archaeology and the former President of Silpakorn University. He was one of the founder various branches of knowledge in the Faculty of Archaeology, which include archaeology, art history, anthropology, languages, and inscription. His academic writings are fundamentally important until the present day. His knowledge is still fundamentally important for understanding artifacts in Thailand. The objective of the project. This project is done to commemorate the contribution of Professor Mom Chao Subhadradis Diskul as the founder for the study of archaeology and art history and inscription in Thailand.
to tell stories of 100 outstanding artifacts by dividing them into 23 important topics from prehistory to the modern times. All of this will be presented through books and video clips. This project will be complete next year. And here are some selected artifacts in prehistoric periods to photohistoric periods, such as rock painting from the northern Thailand, tripod pottery from Bangkok, and calabash from southern Thailand, and bronze dumps, seal, and Canadian lion to tell culture of that time. In the early history period, we showed early Buddhist art from Central, Southern, and Northeastern regions to tell about the variety of Buddhism at that time. And this from Sithep in the Central Thailand, and Pabramata Chaya from South, and Avalokiteswaran from South also, and votive tablet, and this is Baisema Bodari stone from northeastern Thailand, and Bell of Law Thamachak from the Central. We also choose important inscriptions to tell about languages and alphabet in that time. The next one, we will talk about Hinduism in the early stage in Thailand. We have chosen some outstanding Hindu gods, such as Vishnu and Surya from Central, Eastern, and Southern Thailand. Vishnu from the south, these two, and Surya from the central, and this one is Vishnu from Eastern Thailand. And the next topic is the relationship between Thailand and Cambodia through many Khmer ruins. The most outstanding are Prasat Phimai, Prasat Phimai, Prasat Phnom Lung, Phapang Sam Yot, Lokhaya Sala, and the sculpture of King Chaiyapotpanit VII. This is about relationship between Thailand and Cambodia. And the next is the Buddhist arts and the Buddhist sacred sites are chosen to tell culture and society in the 14th to 16th centuries. The history of Sukhothai, Lan Na, Ayutthaya, and Lan Chang will be told through the Buddha images, stupas, and Hindu gods of those periods. You can see in presentation. And the next group of artistic works and architectures is in the Thonburi and the early Ratana Gosin period. The most outstanding artistic works are chosen to tell the establishment of these two kingdoms, such as the Thonburi Palace. This one is the Thonburi Palace, the Grand Palace, Wat Phasi Ratana Sasadaram, and the other royal temple. The last group is from the 19th century to the modern period. It reflects the westernization and modernity in Thailand. The part of selected architecture are the Anantasamakom throne halls on the left side, and the Ministry of Defense building, the Phra Puthayat Phra Jula, Phra Puthayat Phra Bridge, and the Democracy Monument. It is the westernization and the modernity in Thailand. And here is the list of 23 important topics. The first one from prehistoric time to the early history to the modern time. Start with human society and culture in the prehistoric period. And the second, when ancient Thailand faced overseas trade and religions in the photo history period. And the third, alphabets and languages in the early history, the early Buddhism, and you can see to the modern time. And the end is the westernization and modernity. 23 is the beginning of democracy. Okay. And for the last one, I would like to show the promote clip for our project. Start with a video clip, and maybe this project will be finished next year.
สำหรับกิจกรรมผลิตสื่อเรื่อง100วัตถุสถาน100เรื่องราว100ปีชาตการศาสตราจารย์หม่อมเจ้าสุภัทรดิษฐ์ดิสกุลเนี่ยนะครับก็เกิดขึ้นจากการที่เราระลึกนึกถึงท่านอาจารย์ศาสตราจารย์หม่อมเจ้าสุภัทรดิษฐ์ดิสกุลนะครับซึ่งในปี 2566 เนี่ยจะเป็นปีที่ครบ100ปีชาตการของท่านนะครับเราก็เลยหยิบยกเรื่องราวที่ผ่านโบราณวัตถุสถาน100ชิ้นแล้วก็เล่า100เรื่องราวนะครับให้ร้อยเรียงกันไปซึ่งทั้งหมดเนี่ยจะผ่านกระบวนการในการศึกษาหรือว่ากระบวนการความรู้ทางด้านโบราณคดีทางด้านประวัติศาสตร์ศิลปะประวัติศาสตร์แล้วก็ภาษาจารึกนะครับซึ่งศาสตราจารย์หม่อมเจ้าสุภัทรดิษฐ์ดิสกุลเนี่ยท่านเป็นผู้วางรากฐานเอาไว้ให้ที่คณะโบราณคดีมหาวิทยาลัยศิลปากรนะครับสำหรับวิทยากรที่มาบรรยายมามอบความรู้หรือว่ามาแลกเปลี่ยนความคิดเห็นเนี่ยก็จะเป็นบุคลากรคณะโบราณคดีมหาวิทยาลัยศิลปากรนะครับซึ่งทุกท่านเนี่ยก็เอาความรู้ของท่านอาจารย์เนี่ยมาต่อยอดเป็นเรื่องราวต่างๆนะครับ100ชิ้นหรือว่า100แห่งที่กำลังจะพูดถึงกันเนี่ยก็สามารถที่จะบอกเล่าเรื่องราวต่างๆในสังคมไทยได้ซึ่งเราแบ่งเป็นทั้งสิ้นเนี่ย23หัวข้อนะครับให้เราได้ติดตามตั้งแต่ยุคก่อนประวัติศาสตร์นะครับจนถึงยุคสมัยใหม่ผ่านโบราณวัตถุผ่านโบราณสถานนะครับ
Okay, thank you. เชิญอาจารย์อชิรัตน์
Okay. So first of all, I would like to thank you, Faculty of Archaeology, for inviting me for this speak. And Professor Chedha Tingsanchali was assigned from the writer, from the faculty to study on his literatures. Professor Subhadradis Diskul literatures on many objects, especially Sri Vijaya temples, the artifacts, as well as Hindu images in Thailand. So I would like to give you some of the 5 examples that it is very interesting. And actually, I studied his literature in Thai, but I try to find the literature, the captions that he mentions also in English. So these are some part of that. This is Phra Chaya. He wrote these explanations in the book called The Art of Sri Vijaya, which is published in 1980. And he mentions about the comparisons between Phra Chaya with Central Javanese monument. Quoted, the most important examples is, of course, a small monument, Phra at Chaya, which is one of the most venerated, which is found in Thailand. It resembles a Central Javanese monument, and it is a small square structures with porches on 4 sides. So these are porches on 4 sides. And the superstructures is divided into many tiers, where each of which is decorated with the model of stubus and the largest one crowned on the top. So these are some of his comparisons. He provided comparisons with Central Javanese monuments. And he also mentions about the techniques of the constructions with brick and vegetable mortar. He compares with chimes and Khmer as quoted here, bricks and vegetable mortars in chime and Khmer structures were used in its constructions. Its date might be about the 9th to the 10th centuries, unquoted. So these are some of the examples. These are the first examples that I gave you for his study on Phra Boromathatchaya. The book called The Art of Sri Vijaya is published internationally, and he is the co-author. Not only him, but there are some scholars invited from Malaysia and Indonesia to share the articles on Sri Vijaya in every region, not only Thailand, but from Malaysia, Indonesia, as well as the Philippines. Okay, so this is another captions, another literatures that he mentions about Wat Kaew in Chaya. He provides the comparisons with Jam, the Holai style temple, Khmer Gulen style, and Central Javanese monument, and he especially mentioned Kalasan temple that I have given the photos here. Quoted at Wat Kaew, also in Chaya, stands a brick monument reminiscent of a Jam tower, especially of Holai type, and Khmer monuments of Gulen period, about the age of the 8th to the first half of the 9th century, unquoted. So he mentions that the temples is quite similar to Kalasan temples that I gave the examples here, the pictures, as well as he also compared with Jam Hualai temple, which normally, the wall of the body is normally divided by the series of pilasters. So it resembles to Wat Kaew. And he also mentions about the Javanese plan of cross, quoted according to Professor George Sedes and Professor Chong Bosreye. The plan of this monument resembles to Javanese plan of cross as at Janti Kalasan, unquoted. So he mentions about the plan of cross. Is provide 4 or 5 rooms in each direction. So altogether there are 5 rooms or 5 sanctums. Okay. For Central Javanese art, it would be dedicated to 4 or 5 gods or Buddhas, like Dhyani Buddhas, or some Hindu gods, different Hindu gods, Shiva, Agastya, or Mahishasuramardani and Ganesha. So these, even though he does not mention whether this temple has been dedicated either the systems that belong to Javanese art or not, but it's very interesting. Especially if we compare with the plan of cross. Actually, the plan not only found at Kalasan temple, but Sevu temples and Prambanan temple in Central Java is also conceived in the same plan. He referenced Professor Sedes and Professor Boiselier. This is very interesting because this indicates his attempt to educate Thai students with the foreign scholars' theories, so arguments that provide by the foreign scholars. And during that time, less of Thai students read English. So he tried to provide some arguments that provided by many professors from abroad. Another example that I will give you here is Vishnu from Wat Sarathung in Chaya, and I quote from Professor Subhadradis Diskul famous book on the art in Thailand in 1986. He mentions that, quoted, a number of ancient Hindu images has been discovered in Thailand. They have mostly been found at the same site as the Varavati antiquities. So some scholars has classified them as a Hindu aspect of the Varavati rite. As none of them have the native facial features of the Varavati style, the author has grouped them apart as ancient Hindu images in Thailand. Most of them closely resemble sculptures in Indian post-Gupta style, i.e., those of Pallava dynasty in southeastern India from around the 7th centuries, unquoted. So he gave the grouping system, he argued that because the facial expressions or facial features of this Hindu image does not resemble to the indigenous of these faces, so he differentiated the groups of images. This is his argument. And he also referencing Professor Stanley J. O'Connor, that he mentions that he gives the date of the examples from 4th to 5th century. I don't know what happened, but that the numbers become Thai traditional numeral system, and script. I don't know what's wrong with the slides. Actually, I use the Arabic number. Anyway, Professor S.J. O'Connor mentions about the Mathura and Amarati style, which is similar to this image, and he mentions that it should be the most ancient image in Southeast Asia. So I give you the quote in his literature that, quote, these stone Hindu statues usually represent standing Vishnu with 4 arms, holding conch, a disc, a club, and a lotus, or a lump of earth. The last one symbolizing earth. The god is wearing a cylindrical hat and a long robe like a sarong, descending to the ankles. The most of these images were discovered in southern and eastern part of Thailand. So he mentions the style of the draperies and the positions of the attributes. Quoted the oldest one is presumably the image of Vishnu, 69 centimeters high, which was found at Chaya in Surathani as shown in the photo here. And the sculpture is dated from about the 4th to 5th century AD, displaying affinities with the late Indian Mathura and Amaravati styles. According to Professor Stanley J. O'Connor Jr., this image is also the earliest Hindu image found in Southeast Asia. So he supports the argument proposed by Professor S.J. O'Connor. And these arguments still follows by many scholars that even nowadays, that this image seems to be the most ancient Hindu image outside India. Okay, so there are some proposals that he gives some arguments, like the theories of the three groups of Vishnu images in Thailand. This proposed in the book called The Art in Thailand in 1986. Actually, this is not the original books, but this is the sixth editions. I think that he proposed before 1986. Okay, Professor Subhadradis gives some the system of groupings by using the scarf of the hip, scarf that wrap at the hip of Vishnu images. This one quoted the Hindu statues wearing the wrong sarong dating from the 7th centuries can be divided into three groups. The first, with a cloth scarf wrapped diagonally across the thigh. The second, with the same scarf decorations, tied horizontally. And the third, without any cloth scarf, but with only a small belt and showing a strong muscular body. So these are three groups of sculptures. The first one on your left-hand side is the group with the scarf tied diagonally. The second, the scarf tied horizontally. And the third, without scarf. Okay, now come back to his literatures. He mentions that, quoted, the first group presumably antedate the second as is more similar to Hindu images in India and was popular only for a short while. So he believed that this one should be the earliest one and is lasted for a short while. While this group, the second group, much longer and much scatter. I mean, they scatter around not only from southern Thailand, but in eastern Thailand, like the city called Si Mohosot in Prachinburi province. So we come back to his writing. The first group presumably antedate the second as is more similar to Hindu images in India and was popular only for a short while. Many images have been found in the second categories, which mostly lasted for a long period, displaying a certain evolutions such as the contaminations between the lower rim of the cylindrical head and curved hairlines on the forehead, unquoted. So this is the attempts of dating of sculpture of each group. Comparing to India, you try to connect with the style, with the changes of style, like the contaminations between the head and the rim of the hairline, something like that, on the Vishnu forehead. Then, quoted, the statues of the first group were mostly found in southern Thailand, whereas the majorities of the second group were discovered in the south as well as at Si Mahapot in Prachinburi. This is the one that he mentions. The third group was only found in southern and the south and attributed by Professor Stanley J. O'Connor Jr. in his remarkable book, Hindu Gods of Peninsula Siam, to the period between 650 and 800. So he, unquoted, so he attributes some of the differentiations of the size that each group is discovered, and the style of draperies, the cylindrical crowns, the body modeling like a muscular one, non-muscular one. He tried to differentiate this style, the difference of style for, because he attempted to date the sculptures. Even though there are many theories, proposed by many scholars. His theories seems to be interesting, followed by many scholars even nowadays. To date the sculptures from the first group to the second group to the third group. Unfortunately, there is no inscriptions on this image, so we cannot prove either whether his theories is right, is accurate or not. But at least his writings seems to be very interesting, and it is actually inherited from his time to our time. So this is my presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. First of all, I'd like to express my gratitude toward Rungroj to invite me to be the representative of the group of the writers for this book, because today he made me the most beautiful speaker on the stage in this morning. Because you all both handsome, okay? So anyway, what I was responsible for this book is about artistic works during the Ayutthaya period, which received the artistic influence from China and the Western world. So that's why I use this topic, is meets ways. Actually, I'm responsible for another part as well, but because we have just a short time, so I just choose this part to talk today. So shall we start from the early Ayutthaya period, from this slide. This is the paintings inside the crypt, the small room inside the principal stupa in Wat Rajburana temple, which was built in, okay, the font is weird too.
It's converted alternative.
So it's the technical difficulties. The temple was built in 1424, and so by King Phra. And so because this painting is inside the crypt, so it means that it can be dated to the same date of the temple too. So that's why we can say that this set of mural paintings represent the work of the early Ayutthaya period. From the slide here, I'm not sure, does it work? Okay. Over here you can see from this one, this is the crypt, which is over here. The crypt is divided into three parts, the uppermost, the central, and the lowermost ones. And so the set of paintings is in the first part, the uppermost here. Over here we have 4 side walls, and each wall contains paintings. The first 2 ones over here, you can see from the line drawing that it is the figures of flying deities holding flowers. So it can be assumed that those deities are in the posture of paying homage to the Buddha's relic, which were kept inside the stupa. And so the other 2 sides over here, from the dress styles, and so from some physical appearance of the figures, such as small eyes and long beards, so it can be assumed that this group of persons here should represent Chinese figures. So it means that we find the inspirations from the Chinese art inside this crypt. For the next slide that I would like to show you is some more details on the set of Chinese figures paintings. Over here, from these line drawings, you can see that there are a lot of figures, a lot of people here. But from my study, I find that those people can divide it into two groups. The first one, I call them common people. They are over here. And this is the real paintings. Very interesting, I found that those group of people are in various postures. Some are holding containers of food and drinks, and some are holding flowers. And another group, I call them deities. Actually, they are here. There are two figures around here. And this group, these figures were some kind of dress that completely different from the first ones. They are wearing the Chinese style armor. And so you can see from this picture, it's a Chinese style armor here. But unfortunately, the painting is in the dilapidated condition. And one of them, like this figure, you can see that on the upper body, there is a long white cloth over here. And the artisan paint this cloth in the movement in a blowing movement. It's like blowing in the winds. So this kind of portrayals make us think about Chinese painting, traditional Chinese paintings, when the artisans would like to show the gods in the soldier versions. So as you can see that there are two groups of people. And so it is assumed that these two groups should pay homage, pay respect to the Lord Buddha's relic inside the crypt as well. So next, I try to find the prototype in the Chinese painting to find that if there are any kinds of paintings that portray the mixtures of deities and common people stay together and paying homage to the Lord Buddhas. I find that there is a kind of painting that is called 供养人图, which can be translated as the paintings of religious sponsors. What does it like? It is like in the past, some patrons or donators, when they donate some money to make paintings and dedicate them to the temples or the religious sites, they may ask the artisan that please paint myself on the paintings. So the good example is over here. This is the paintings in the Yuan dynasty. So from these paintings, you can see that there is a standing Buddha image in the center. And on both sides, there are a lot of human figures, but they are different. As you can see that the upper part here, the persons in the upper part has, each of them has the halo on his head. So it means that they are deities. And the lower part, the person here, none of them have halo. So it means that they are common people. And so from their gesture, you can see that they have the same gesture, just two palms put together to show the respect. And some of them bear some food here as a dedication to the Lord Buddhas. So from these comparisons, you can find that the 供养人图, or the paintings of religious sponsors in the Chinese culture, should be the prototype for the paintings inside this crypt of the Supa, right? So who are they? Who are the Chinese donators? So the next one, I find that inside the crypt, there are a lot of amulets, and some of them bear the inscriptions, Chinese inscriptions, like this. And so they share the same features, which is that you can see that there are a lot of surnames here. And this one is here. So it should be the surnames of the donators or the patrons, right? And there are two characters that I would like you to notice. Yeah, we have Chinese participant today. Xin Guan here. And this one is Xin Guan as well. So this word, I checked from dictionary, so it means I. It's a personal pronoun of the first person, so it means I. So this word is not normally used by common people. It just confined to the noblemen in the courts only. So it means that the donators and the patrons for this amulet and also the painting inside the crypt should be Chinese noblemen inside the Ayutthaya court. So this example is very interesting, but because it's not only show the Chinese inspiration spread into the Ayutthaya kingdoms, but also show the role, the important roles of Chinese immigrants inside the court too. And the next one, we will jump to the late Ayutthaya period. Actually, during this time, we still find the Chinese inspiration as well, but it is not so strong as European and Muslim influence. So the period that I'm talking about is in the King Narai period, and he was contemporary with King Louis XIV. According to various accounts, you can see that in his court there are a lot of foreigners working as the noblemen too. And so the historical side that I'm talking about is the mansion of Constantine Falcon, one of important noblemen during that time. And so I think most of you here may know him from Jiao Thai series last 2 or 3 years ago. From this side, you can see that it's a huge place. It's composed of various edifices. And so I would like you to notice here, some Jesuit priests recorded in his book that Mr. Constantine Falcon had a great mansion in Lopburi. And so one time he ordered the construction of a church and named it Notre Dame de Lorette. So from its function and its name, you can see a close link with the European culture, right? And so the next slide is what I would like to show you, the artistic comparison that we found on this church. When you look closer, you can see that this is not a common rectangular shape, but on the both sides here, each side has a porch. So it looks like a plans of Latin cross and Greek cross that we are normally find in the constructions of the Catholic in the European church or cathedrals like this. And another part, when you stand in front of this church, you can see that there is a door here and 2 windows here. So first of all, I would like you to notice this one first. You can notice that it is in a circular shape. And so when I try to find a prototype in the European architecture, I find that in a group of churches or cathedral, there is one practice, which is that the artisans will make a rose windows. It is composed of a circular windows like this, and the artisans will use a lot of stained glass decorated this opening. So you can imagine when the sun shines through this window, inside the church, there are a lot of shapes of light. It's very beautiful. So unfortunately, the stained glass here disappear already. So from the comparisons, you can see is it the European inspirations. But the next slide is very interesting because we not only find the European art, but also other art as well. We still in the facade, in the front side of the church. When you look to the uppermost here, you can see another opening. In the past, there were some scholars proposing that this kind of opening is like the pointed arch, which is very famous in the European architecture, especially French architecture. But I would like you all to take a look at the comparison here. You can see two kinds of pointed arcs. The upper one is from the European art, but this one is from the Muslim art. So you can see that they have something different from one another. I would like you to notice here the upper part of each arc. The upper part of the pointed arc in the Muslim art, you can see that it's very wider, while this one is very narrow, right? And then we go back to see the opening here. You can see that the upper part is very, very wide. So it means that this kind of thing should be derived from the Muslim architects. This kind of finding is, how can I say, is in accordance to many literary evidence stating that there are a lot of Muslim people traveling to Ayutthaya and working inside the court as well. And the final pictures here on your right side, you can see that this is a side door of the church. You can see the door frames here. This kind of decorations you can find in the ordination or assembly halls which were built in the Ayutthaya period too. So this church is very interesting because you can see the overseas inspirations, but at the same time you can see that when those overseas inspirations come, they come to mix with the local ones. And the final example here, we are still in Lopburi province, and so I recommend that if you have time, you can drive the cars, or we have many transportation to get there, because over there are a lot of historical sites since the prehistorical period until the modern time. As for this historical site, it can be dated to King Narai as well. According to various accounts, there were a lot of Jesuit priests travel to Ayutthaya and Lopburi, and also King Narai tends to listen to many new knowledge from those priests, and so one of recommendations from the priests is that Ayutthaya should have an observatory to study cosmology. So there are some accounts make us realize that Ayutthaya kingdom, there were two observatories in, the one is in Ayutthaya and another one is in Lopburi. But unfortunately, the one in Ayutthaya disappeared nowadays. This site nowadays is called San Paulo or Saint Paulo Church. And so as you can see nowadays, we just see this kind of thing. So it's very hard to imagine the full version of this place. But from this side, you can see the paintings from which was recorded in the accounts of the Jesuit priests. You can see the full version here. So from this full version, you can see that it's composed of two elements. The first one is octagonal plan, the edifice in the octagonal plan here. And the second part is the row of building connected on two sides of the octagonal building. And is it in the encircling the central courtyard like this? I guess that some of you here may have a chance traveling to Paris before and may have a chance to go to Paris Observatoire. This is an important observatory which was built in King Louis XIV, that I just said that he was contemporary with the time of King Narai. So over here you can see the same plan with San Paulo or Saint Paulo in Lopburi. It's composed of two parts, a central building here and a row of edifices. that is arranged in the ring shape like this. Although the plan here show more complex arrangement, but you can see the inspiration here, especially the central part, the central building. You can see that there is composed of octagonal building as well. So it should be the prototype of this building. So in conclusion, these 2 or 3 examples that I'm talking about, actually you can see that there are a lot of overseas artistic inspirations spread into Ayutthaya Kingdom. Actually, you can see this kind of phenomena in other periods too. Interestingly, in historical accounts of Thailand and overseas countries make us realize that Ayutthaya in the past was an international entrepot linking various places together. For example, China, India, or in the European world and the Muslim world. So this kind of international, worldwide connection actually not only reflected to the historical records, but also from the artistic work that still remains nowadays. So that's all for our presentations, and I hope that you are looking forward to seeing our book that will publish next year. Thank you.
Thank you to all 3 speakers for the remarkable presentation.
ขอขอบคุณท่านวิทยากรทั้ง3ท่านสำหรับการนำเสนอข้อมูลที่น่าสนใจค่ะ
Now we would like to take a 30-minute break. The organizer have provided some snacks and beverage on the first floor for all participants. For speakers, the snack and beverage are provided at the backstage. We will come back to this auditorium again to resume our program at 11 p.m. Thank you.
ณ ตอนนี้ขออนุญาตพักเป็นเวลา 30 นาที ทางคณะผู้จัดงานได้จัดเตรียมอาหารว่างและเครื่องดื่มไว้ให้ผู้เข้าร่วมเสวนาที่ด้านล่างหอประชุมแล้วค่ะ ส่วนท่านวิทยากรทางเราได้จัดเตรียมอาหารว่างและเครื่องดื่มไว้ทางด้านหลังเวทีและเราจะกลับเข้าสู่งานเสวนาอีกครั้งหนึ่งในเวลา 11 นาฬิกาค่ะ